Welcome everyone, and I'm very happy to have the first support game to share with you, Penguin on Narbash. And here we're going to cover quickly the build, and in terms of ability, we start with the Sunk, followed by the Song of My People, March, and then we start maximizing the Song of My People. In terms of abilities priority, it seems that the top Narbash kind of favorize this build order, which is like Crash Bang Boom, the ultimate first, then the heal, Song of My People, but then the speed boost March, and the Sunk is kept for last. And the thing is, March is actually very, very good in the mid game, very, very strong, like ability to be able to keep yourself alive, to rotate, to peel for your teammate, to disengage. Like there's a lot of tools, while the Sunk, yes, it's good, it's a CC, it's RCC, but at the same time, it's like less valuable than the March. But that means that you have to be very careful of when you use your Sunk because the cooldown is pretty heavy. In terms of items, on support, you don't have like a lot of items most of the time. You get to 3-4 items, so you really have to think about the item you have. And here we have the Sanctification as the crest that pair very, very well with the True Silver Bracelet that gives you some CC immunity when you use your Crash Bang Boom, which is a channeling ability and you don't want it to be cancelled. And then we have the Everbloom, which is one of the new addition of the v0.18, the item patch, 6 item patch, and it's like super duper strong. Damage mitigation on everyone you heal with heal and shield power. It's insane for Narbash. And then we have the Crystal tier, also like a lot of ability aced across your team and magical power, like very utility item that fits Narbash perfectly. Let's jump into the game. So we have Penguin on Narbash, our first support game that we're going to review. And here we have a Narbash Kira lane against a Twin Blast Muriel. So one thing you kind of have to understand immediately as you play Narbash support, even more in solo queue, is like to assess like how much you can actually contest the wave or not. With Narbash Kira, both characters are horrible at wave control against like Muriel and Twin Blast, both characters that are pretty good at wave control. So you have to accept that you're not gonna be able to contest any lane, and Rickstor and Manga on the Muriel and the Twin Blast have complete control of what they want to do with the wave. So as you can see here, Penguin just stepped up to try to get like an auto attack on the wave. The goal here is to just like spam an orb, but we're not looking at contesting anything, like we cannot actually. The only thing we're doing is that we're stepping up with our Kira when she wants to go for a last hit. So that way we kind of like separate a little bit the aggression. And here we get an orb back. So we go back for one auto attack and then we step back. And as soon as we get the level 2, we need to disengage. Here I feel like Penguin was a little bit overstepped, but you can see use the Sunk to disengage. But here there is like no contest for that level 2 transition. So they should have like back up a little bit more and take less damage. And that's really like the story of Narbash. Like, I see a lot of people that play Narbash and they want to make something happen. Well, it's first like you're not really good to make that happen. Here you can see he plays a ward because if he face check, he's gonna lose like a lot of health. And here we try to find like a little window of opportunity on that Muriel by going for the Sunk, because we know that the Twin Blast is going around and so the Twin Blast might not be there. So we have a little timing of 2v1 that Penguin tried to exploit. Unfortunately, it didn't work. That's also like one of the things that can happen in solo queue. You're not always on the same page with your carry, but you still need to go for those opportunities. You should just like not overcommit for them. And so like I was saying, like when it comes to Narbash, your job is to scale through the early game without dying. Like Narbash is not really that strong until the level 6 when you sometimes in certain matchup you can start fighting. And here it's one of those matchup. Twin Blast and Muriel are pretty weak against the ultimate of Narbash. But before level 6, all you can do is like you can look like for some poke situation with the Sunk into your carry's damage. And then since you get the heal, you're gonna be able like to sustain yourself. And here we try like to go a little bit aggressive. We see that the Twin Blast was kind of low on mana, so we feel like there is maybe an opportunity. And the idea of this aggression here is true, like Penguin is gonna sacrifice a lot of his health, but that was maybe like that we can set up a freeze on a timing that this Twin Blast want to go back to base because it doesn't have any mana. So here we decide to go contest like this gold buff when the wave crash on the tower. I think I would have much preferred to stop like the full on crash and get like a freeze, because here we're gonna fight, it's very close, and here we can see we have the rotation of the contest. That's gonna be a kill, and that's first also the flash of Penguin. Luckily, Twin Blast flash after Penguin and it's not gonna be able to secure the kill, so not everything is lost. But here, I think like the best play would have been like just to keep like the freeze for the Kira, let them get the gold buff, and then Penguin take his reset on this timing. That way Penguin can come back, and then we can kind of keep the freeze going. And of course they will be able to crash it when they come back, but at the same time, like we're not looking at really fighting this Muriel Twin Blast lane until the level 6, so the fact that the Kira doesn't take her back is not really like that big of a deal if we can deny some farm from that Twin Blast. Still, we survive, and so like I was saying, like your goal as a Narbash is really like to survive unscathed until the end of like the early game, so you transition into the mid game fight and you can start like being like kind of impactful. The only thing that can be like very detrimental to a Narbash is if you start dying early, then you're like not scaling properly, and then that means that you're very easy to target and kill in team fight, and that's exactly what you want to avoid, because you really want to be able to like stay in those team fight, be able to heal your whole team and really like benefit your whole team thanks to that heal, thanks to that speed boost, thanks to having this ultimate that you want to be able to cast the whole duration. And here you can see the Muriel is stepping a little bit backward, which means that we can go for a sunk without getting like poked by the Serenity back. So we try to go for it. Here we're looking for a little bit of aggression because they step up, but as you can see, like once again, like the Narbash is not really like that strong at fighting those situations, and he took like a lot of damage. Overall, as a Narbash, like your job is kind of to be passive most of the time. Here we got like a lot of damage, and here the Muriel overstep a little bit too much they want, and so now we can get like a new engage. One thing that is really deciding with a Narbash is the amount of health you're actually like healing in the early game. But as you can see, also like the Song of My People, which is the ability that Penguin is maxing first, is actually costing a lot of mana, and so here we're already like kind of struggling with mana regen already. So this is why like during the whole early game you're kind of weak at Narbash, but you're actually like very hard to kill if you don't look to make plays in a sense. Well, you can, like I said, make plays by poking, but not make plays through like full-on aggression, because you're very squishy. Despite the fact of like being like a big green dude, you're actually super duper squishy, so you really have to be careful about that. So far, 0, 0, and 0, so we're like scaling towards that level 6. Here we're in a timing that we're looking at maybe like crashing the wave, but it's gonna be tough on that wave because it's a cannon wave. So probably we're looking to crash like the next wave, but as we can see, we do have the contest that is around. And here you can see like we go for the sunk, the Kira start to follow, but the poke damage like from the Serenity into the Vaporize of the Twin Blast is so much damage. And so here overall, like with that lane, you don't really have much to do. Here you can see that we're stepping up as much as we can to try to get this cannon on their tower, and we don't really care if we lose like that much health. And of course we're gonna check like River. As you can see, like Penguin going behind the fog wall, it's a timing the contest can be around. So as a support, I keep telling that, but as a support, the best ward you have is yourself, and that's exactly what Penguin is doing here. He's trying like to cover a little bit the bases and see like how he can like actually like see if the contest is coming. And now we get the wave bouncing back, and so now they will be able like to farm kind of freely in front of their tower. Gold buff is up, so that's something that they do have to maybe respect, but once again, like there's no need to get anything too fancy. So here we had the Serat that was like walking around, so here we're pushing back the wave. We get the level 6, and here where the Serat is coming, so we're gonna use the Marsh to try to follow, stop like the rotation here. We also have the Gideon that is around, and here we're gonna like stay in the wave because like the guy is dead, and we're gonna take advantage of the fact that the wave crashed, that the Twin Blast is dead to get the gold buff and try to maximize their stuff and try to get like a little bit of a lead in a lane that they're not supposed to have any lead. And here, since the Twin Blast is dead, you can get like one more wave, even if it's cannon wave, and you can see here Penguin starting to smack at the wave, because the goal here is to crash that wave as fast as we can, so then we can get a reset. And here we're gonna get the wave crash, and here Penguin is gonna do something that is pretty smart that people tend to forget. He's gonna try to march the next wave of minion. One thing that some people like kind of forget about Narbash is both the heal and the speed boost works on minions, which means that you can actually like use it to help crashing some wave. You can also like help sustaining wave. That's why like Narbash with like all prime buff is so strong, because you heal minions that are like already like super tanky, which makes it like even better like for sieging and push. Here we see like Muriel is not around, so immediately we try to go for the Sunk for a little like poke. Once again, like Narbash plus Kira is not like the best composition overall. When it comes to the duo lane, the 2v2, as you can see, like they still get like this 2v1, but Narbash besides the tank cannot really like do much. But still, if the poke is even, then we got the heal from some of my people, which gonna be enough to kind of counterbalance like all the poke you take. And so here we got the level 6, which means that if like this Twin Blast doesn't have flash, or if this Muriel doesn't have ultimate or flash, that means we get an opportunity to be aggressive. And so maybe we're looking for it, but unfortunately here the Sung doesn't connect. But once again, like as a Narbash, like the pressure is on the enemy team of making plays during the laning phase. It's not really like on yourself. If you get through the laning phase with your carry not being too far behind on CS and yourself like not dying, then you're probably like doing a good job, because then you're gonna be strong in the mid game, and this is where Narbash start to shine in the mid and game team fight. And here we got like the contest, flashing in, gonna use like the ultimate. We try to use the Crash Bang Boom to save his teammate, but it's not gonna be enough. Here we force the flash again, Penguin 1 HP. Kira is like pretty healthy, and here we're gonna keep the heal going, getting behind the Kira, trying to get the Sunk onto the Twin Blast, and once again unfortunately we miss the Sunk. And as you can see, like Penguin is a Grandmaster player, but like Predecessor is a game where it's almost impossible to land every single of your skill shot. As you can see here, we miss like quite a lot, and it's still like not fully like secure. So here we do go very aggressively, that Kira like dashing in, so now we're gonna try like to protect. Here we're gonna try like to fight back a little bit, but we have no mana, no Sunk available, and that's gonna be the flash from Rickster. And so the Kira gonna end up dying, and so now we have to disengage, and unfortunately here we got the Coliseum arriving, flash is on cooldown, and that's gonna be the first kill on Penguin. That in a sense kinda come down from that Kira being over aggressive, Penguin trying to follow that up. If we had like enough mana for a Sunk, maybe there was like a play, but the problem is not that we have a big wave on the tower. That's gonna be like a lot of farm being lost, but the Serat is here to capture it. But yeah, like the Kira got the kill onto the Twin Blast, but that's been at the cost of his own flash, and then at the death of like 2 people in the lane, and also offering like a passive stack to that contest, which not really like the best showing, but it is what it is. We're back in lane. Also, like one thing that like Narbash is not really good at is like rotation. Like Narbash is really like all about scaling for the mid-game team fight. And so like rotating towards between lanes, starting to fall behind on levels is not really the ideal game plan actually. So this is where like you can see like Penguin like in the first like 12 minutes 30, he didn't leave his lane at all. It's just like stay there. Also, it kind of because the Kira cannot really like play by herself because she doesn't have like any good clear potential. And it's actually very hard to keep a freeze going against a Muriel Twin Blast. So that's also like reinforced that aspect. So here we do have the Muriel rotating, so of course we're looking at zoning a little bit that Twin Blast. As you can see, like here Penguin is very like stepping forward. Unfortunately, we're gonna turn around, try to get the Crash Bang Boom, try to surprise them. We kind of split their attention, but here we have 2 fights going. And here we have the Kira winning the fight against the Twin Blast, but the Kira is gonna be very low. We get like the Sunk at the perfect timing to try to save that Kira, and that's gonna be the disengage. So I love the idea of the aggression. That's exactly what you should be doing if the Twin Blast is by itself. Unfortunately, once again we missed the Sunk, and then we kind of overspend with the Crash Bang Boom, because it wasn't like, if you're really like near the Twin Blast, then even if you rocket dash away, it cannot get out of the Crash Bang Boom, and that's a guaranteed Crash Bang Boom. And that is a very strong thing to do, because we know the Twin Blast doesn't have flash, and then suddenly we maybe get a kill. Unfortunately, Penguin used the Crash Bang Boom a little bit early, so the Twin Blast can rocket dash away from the Crash Bang Boom, and then suddenly we don't have a kill. But still, the fight was kind of even, and we keep like scaling in a sense. True Silver has been finished, first item for Penguin. Now working towards the Everbloom as his second item. Everbloom, one of the new items introduced with the 6 item patch, and like on Narbash it's absolutely like insane, offering 5% damage mitigation to your whole team every time you're healing. Is just like so much sustain, and damage mitigation pair very well with healing, because healing is like HP, but if you can have stuff that increase your efficient HP, thanks to armor or damage mitigation, it's even better because it like kind of multiply all the value of your own heal. So here the Muriel is on the other side of the map, so we have to look at maybe like trying to apply like some pressure onto that Twin Blast. That's why like we use the March, we're gonna use the Sunk. Unfortunately we're not connecting, and we're gonna try to apply pressure on that tower. You can see how Penguin is not rotating to the mini prime, because there is also another thing you have to understand with Narbash, is by yourself you do absolutely nothing. Like by yourself you do nothing, like you cannot kill people. You cannot survive by yourself. Like you're really like Narbash is full on a multiplier of other people. Like you're good to help your team fight because you keep them healthy, you can them like mobile with the March, you have one slang to set up some good things, and the Crash Bang Boom is a very good setup ability for the rest of your team. But by yourself, like you do absolutely nothing. So this is where like here the whole team is dead. Well, even if we don't manage to get that tower and like the enemy team is on mini prime, going for that rotation would have done absolutely nothing, because Narbash should have just stayed there and look at the fight, because he can never go in. So here we're gonna go again for the Crash Bang Boom, and this time exactly what I was telling. The Twin Blast was in range of like in melee range of the Narbash, so even if you rocket dash away, it's not gonna be enough to get out of the Crash Bang Boom. So we get the full damage of Crash Bang Boom, force the flash away from that Twin Blast, and now we can like maybe get like a huge priority on that Fangtooth. Kira decided to go for the gold buff first, so that means that this Fangtooth is gonna take like a while longer than it should have done. Here probably the best place to go for Fangtooth first, and then we look, oh, we're gonna try to get like some damage on that contest. The whole team is here, we're gonna get like some good healing, and as you can see, your positioning as a Narbash in team fight is not in the front line. Like a lot of people think Narbash is a front liner, but he's not. Your positioning as Narbash is between the people that are fighting on the front line and your back line. Like you're really like in the middle of your team. That's your best positioning. But like I was saying here, like probably the best play would have been for that Kira to go for the Fangtooth, and then we come back to the lane, get the lane gold buff reset. Would have been like slightly more efficient overall for the team, and would have not created that this whole team fight. In the end it worked out. We get the contest because the contest overstep are welcome, and Penguin get like the Sunk on her. But it would have been like, could have been sketchy a little bit. And here we had 17 minutes 40, and you can see like the furthest away Penguin like has gone away from his like lane is to get to that Fangtooth. That's all he has done. And at 7 minutes 40, I think like around like even 12 minutes, it was 0 and 0 and 0. And so you can see like Narbash is really like kind of a passive character. Like by yourself, you cannot really create plays until you reach like the mid-late game, where you start like being like very strong for a team fight. And that's exactly what you should be doing. Like try to get your carry like out of the laning phase with like as much CS as you can, while yourself not dying ideally, and then you scale, and suddenly when you are 2 items, like your team fight are gonna be so strong for your team. With True Silver it's very hard to interrupt your own Crash Bang Boom, and with your Eva Bloom like you offer like so much sustain to your team. Still you have to be careful, because as a character you're still like very squishy, because you have no armor. The base stat of Narbash when it comes like to all the armor and stuff are not like incredible, and so you really have to be careful, because you cannot sustain burst damage, and that's like one of the counter to Narbash. Here you can see like huge rotation towards mid lane, and like it's not a huge team fight with everyone going there, so like there is not much we can do. So here we're just gonna march, try to secure this tier 1 tower in mid lane, and kind of let like the team kind of deal with the rest. Here we don't want them to reset, and here you can see like very smart by Penguin, because now we're gonna go for the Crash Bang Boom, trying to get the ultimate out of the Muriel. We're gonna get like as much damage as we can. We turn onto the Muriel. The fight is a little bit split, unfortunately, because we go, and so we're probably gonna get like maybe Penguin die. We flash away, the Muriel is following, we're gonna try to get the last hit, but it's not gonna be enough, and Penguin survives thanks to the rotation of Bondred on the steal, and that's gonna be the kill. And here I want you to realize what Penguin has done. Like he has the vision onto the Twin Blast, but he also know that probably the Muriel is rotating with the Twin Blast. So what does Penguin do? He let the Twin Blast go away and then he entered the fog wall at the timing the Muriel is in position. So we can like actually transform this like 2v2 with the Muriel that would have been in a perfect position to shield the Twin Blast and create like a lot of chaos and being like very complicated, to just like engage on that Muriel and create like a slight seconds when it's a 2v1, and you can actually like get like a lot of advantage. And so like those timing of when you engage are also like very important, and here that was like a great example of like waiting for the right moment to strike is actually very valuable. In the end it ended up like being very close, but at best it would have been like Penguin dying for killing the enemy carry to give like a kill on your carry while you only give a kill to the enemy support, so it wouldn't have been like so bad, all things considered. In the end it was like a free kill with nobody dying. We also like consume like the Muriel ultimate, which in a sense like stop a lot of the pressure that the Muriel can apply on the map, and so that's very good. So now we're around like the 21 minutes and we're finally like gonna look at maybe like some rotation, because like the lane is completely pushed. Here we're trying to get like control of the Feng 2 split. And so here we do have the contest. We're gonna go for the Sank. We go immediately for the Heresy. The contest, good dash away to get like into the Kira. And so we're gonna like try to peel again. Now we're gonna get like a Crash Bang Boom. Probably the Muriel should be the target since she doesn't have any ultimate, and then we're gonna like try to survive here. We do have the Zarus coming though, so the Zarus is gonna get like a lot of damage, and now we don't have any resources available anymore, so that's gonna be the death of the Narbash and the Kira, but that's a wonderful like black hole into Shield Slam, and we're gonna secure like a full team wipe overall. So here, as you can see, we once again create the engage, but we don't really like you just do the thunk as Narbash for like the engage. You don't really have anything else, like you don't really have damage. Then we just like keep healing people while letting the Sarah do the damage, and then we're looking at who we should be peeling, and you can see also like it doesn't use the Crash Bang Boom immediately. You wait for a better opportunity in the fight to get like a nice Crash Bang Boom, because yeah, maybe if we use the Crash Bang Boom we kill the contest faster, but at the same time that means that then we're like completely like without any defense. Like one of your best defense as Narbash is that Crash Bang Boom. If people start to collapse on you, because they should, in a sense, they need to kill you in team fight, and if you don't have your Crash Bang Boom, then suddenly you're gonna be toasted. One thing to note also, like the crest we have gone for Sanctification, and with the 6 item patch, like Sanctification and Tranquility doesn't offer like heal and shield power anymore, so you're kind of free to go whatever you want. But when you go with True Silver, having Sanctification is pretty good, because that means that now you can like increase your shield, and which means that you increase that CC immunity. However, for those that don't know, like shield works in a certain way that the first shield you apply is the shield that's gonna keep like his effect longer. So if you want to get like the longer duration of like CC immunity, you need to first use your ultimate and then Sanctification, because until the shield that you actually gain that gives you like an effect disappear, you're gonna keep the effect. So that means that if you go for True Silver ultimate, then Sanctification, when you finish the seal of Sanctification, you're gonna lose the effect of Sanctification, and when you lose the shield of True Silver, you're gonna lose the CC immunity. So here we're looking like the Muriel immediately ulti on the other side of the map. So of course, what are we doing? Like we cannot catch like that rotation, because like, yeah, Narbash is not like a full range character. So we're just like gonna step to that Twin Blast and kill the Twin Blast. That's something that here Penguin is doing very well, is like every time the Muriel goes away, as you can see, we're looking to get like a pressure on that Twin Blast, and here that pressure transforms into a kill. This Twin Blast should realistically just like walk away, not try to fight anything, because there is no way you can actually like win that fight, that trade. But in the end, that's a free peek, because they realize that they should be like actually like pretty aggressive. We have like people fighting in mid, but as you can see, like we're still like 25 minutes in, and Penguin didn't really like rotate somewhere else, because like you cannot catch the rotation of a Muriel. So every time that Muriel is going for like a huge rotation like that, you can see Penguin is trying to apply pressure. And now that we have this tier 2 tower on the dual lane, it's going to be like much easier to like navigate the map, no fight with your team, and try to create like those very good like nice team fight. We're probably going to look at like Primal Fang 2 when it's respawn, but more importantly here, I think we're looking around the Ore Prime for foreseeable future to try to not let that to the enemy team. And this is where also Narbash is pretty good. It's like when you do like objectives, you actually are very, very strong because you heal your whole team. So your team doesn't take that much damage. And now we can see the third item has been completed. We're like with Crystal Tier, which offer like a lot of ability haste and magical power to your whole team. Magical power is mainly like for the Gideon and the Steel, not much for like anything else. But at the same time, we're not really like going for something. Here, I don't really agree with like Penguin going back to his lane. I feel like Penguin has been like magnetized by the dual lane that game a little bit too much. Still, I feel like it's correct in many instances, but here like he shouldn't be there. Like here you can see he finally like make his way towards like the R Prime pit. He should have been with his team. Like here it's like the big objective, like I said. R Prime was the target, and here finally he arrived, but he arrived like after all the thing has happened. So here, definitely a mistake by Penguin. Even at the Grandmaster level, like people are not playing perfectly. And if he was with his team, that means that normally, like here, everyone would be like super healthy. The fight would have gone like even more like, it would have been like even more like easier. And then here we're looking at that bit of aggression. We get a lot of damage. Bondroid is kind of low. Bondroid is gonna get like to 1 HP. We didn't catch it here, I didn't talk about it, but Penguin like saving the Bondroid's life with the Sanctification, with the Song of My People, and that's actually very important because when you have R Prime, the difference between surviving at 1 HP and dying is absolutely like insane. Because with the R Prime regen, you're gonna be back to full health like pretty quickly, and so that means that you can like actually like fight to see another day. Bondroid is gonna go for the full run reset here, and now we're gonna like try to prepare for the Primal Faintus. One thing also that I want to mention about like Penguin going for the dual lane instead of like going for the R Prime, that means also like as a support your job is to ward well around those objectives when your team wants to try to do them, and that's like something that here Penguin kind of failed to do. So in the end it worked out nicely, but it's something that you have to pay attention as being a support. So here we're gonna get like once again this contest, like space checking as a contest, getting sung, getting killed. It seems to be like the story of that match, a lot of it. And here we have Penguin keeping the information of like the jungle, kind of hovering in the middle of his team. As you can see, like he doesn't want to leave the Gideon alone because then it's like very easy to pick him up. And so he also like want to get like information about where is the enemy team when it comes to the jungle. And so that's where like Penguin take this positioning like around the team. One thing also to note is that we level up Marsh second, and Sunk is the last ability to level up. And like the Marsh is very good to level up like in the mid game because, well, you get a lot of like cooldown on it if every time you level it up, and so that means you can like spam it. And actually like spamming March is very good both to disengage, both to chase, both like to keep your teammate alive, to keep yourself alive if you want to rotate on the map. So like March is a very, very good ability to have, and like getting some CD on the Sunk is actually like less valuable than this like all team speed boost. And overall we're gonna end like the match probably like at this 1-11 scoreline. And as you can see, like as a Narbash, it's all about like being patient and just like going through the early game and then like being present in the mid game team fight, and that should give you like a W. Thanks everyone for watching.